Welcome to Knights of Mandalore. I am Jared. Excuse me. And today we are talking about the Bad Batch introduction. Man, first off, I want to say I've never gotten more nostalgia than when I'm watching that show, and then all of a sudden it it opens with the Clone Wars, then it burns away, and then all you see is Bad Batch, and I'm like, oh yes. So anyway, love how also it opens up like a Clone Wars episode. So this is indicating to me that even more that this is basically the next season of Clone Wars, except it's not called Clone Wars because the Clone Wars has ended. What I like is that this is one of those rare occasions when it's showing the war or like the Star Wars universe from like the non-Jedi perspective, which anyone can tell. Anyone who knows me can tell you. In terms of Star Wars, I always like it more when the Jedi are not involved, because then, see, here's the thing: the Force in Star Wars is basically a giant solve everything button. It's like, oh, the Force will guide us. Where with guys like Han Solo, arguably he's Force sensitive, but with guys like Din Djarin or any of the non-Force wielding characters, it's like they have some type of skill. So it's not like they're just promise all. All right. So anyway, going back to Bad Batch. So I also liked. So the episode starts off, and then there's like a Jedi Master and a Jedi Padawan. I forget the Master's name. Actually, I'm going to look that up real quick because it's really important. Because what I did not expect at all, was okay. So I'm watching the episode. So I'm like, oh, okay, this looks really good. So far, it's looking great. I'm watching it, and then all of a sudden, it has the Jedi Master in it, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. It's a Jedi and everything. And then it's like her Padawan comes sliding down, and it's legit Kanan Jarrus. So I was like, oh, I see what they're doing there. And I like how it's taking place. It starts off like a minute or so before Order 66 comes down. So I'm like, oh, this is so dope. So starting here, so I can establish that immediately, because this show is basically showing immediately what happens after Order 66 to the clones. So, and obviously they introduce the Bad Batch, and then the Order comes down, and then the clone commandos who don't have inhibitor chips, or like theirs are like super damaged due to their augmentations, are like, are like, what is going on? The Jedi are our allies. Why are we attacking them? So anyway, they go through, they start bashing, and then all of a sudden they get the Order comes down again, and then so Kanan runs while his master is gunned down by clones, and he escapes due to Hunter. Hunter allows the kid to escape, which is interesting because what that's establishing is that these guys don't believe in Order 66, or at least think there's something wrong or something like that. So, and this is showing more about the individuality of these clone commandos, because it's showing that really they're not the whole only obey orders thing, which I gotta be honest, I can go either way when it comes to like that particular portion of the clones. But to a certain degree, I'm not really a big fan of the whole, oh, they follow orders no matter what. Yeah, they follow orders no matter what. So anyway, so they were after that whole battle, they return to Camino, and that's showing that like this is basically their main home base. They even have they have a room there where they share a room. They share a barracks. They notice everything is super weird. Like all the clones are like. What I noticed, by the way, what I thought was very effective is that most of the clones, in fact, except for the shock troopers, they were all just in white armor. This is showing that the clones are losing their individuality. Now, I was having a discussion with this with Lad, the co-host from one of my other podcasts, Under Two Capes. He'll be on soon as he watches the show, so we can talk about it in a group. But I just figured I'd put out a video, and it was really, really, really cool seeing how the clones like transition away from like the full-on stormtrooper right now. And they're like, oh, this is weird. Something is very odd going on here. So then Grand Moff Tarkin shows up and goes, okay, I want to see clones in action so we can reevaluate if the Empire really needs clones. And what this is showing is that at some point after the Clone Wars, the Emperor was like, I don't want to use a clone army anymore. We'll just conscript people. That's it. We're done. So, and I think that's a really cool position with the clones. And so they send in Bad Batch, they give them training blasters, and they're going up against like a typical scenario that would probably resolve that the Bad Batch would be able to solve, and they do that. And they encounter like, and then Moff goes, okay, use live rounds. So now they're using the enemy's using live ammunition. They're not. So what happens is they bring in these super awesome death troopers, and then and they fight. They still succeed. I'm going really in general summarizing it, and then I'm going to go into what I like, and then I'm going because in the episode live we're going to go in more in depth, and then. What I also liked, okay, so the Jedi was Jedi General Depa Bilaba, the master of Kanan Jarrus. All right. So anyway, then so he shows up and puts it through the trial, yeah, and everything. So anyway, what happens is, so what happens is, I'm trying to. Okay. So they go over to this. So they're said, okay, so there's a squad of rebels on this moon. Go take care of them. So they go to the moon. They're expecting like some battle droids or like someone really loyal to the separatists, but they find Saw Gerrera, and he's like, "Hey, listen, clones turned on us. We're not. We don't want the Empire or anything." So this is showing first off the seeds of the rebellion, which I think is a really effective way to do it. Because remember, in Rogue One, he was a radical extremist against the Empire. So I felt was pretty dope. And again, I like how they put all these small details. So anyway, uh, again, but you notice Crosshair, the sniper on the team, is like, "Yeah, we should kill them. These are our orders." And Hunter, the team leader, is like, "No, we're not slaughtering women and children." So once again, if these were ordinary clones, they would have just wiped out the entire place. That would have been it's done. Once again, these clones are more independent thinking. So then they return to Camino without killing anyone. And then actually they report, yeah, we took care of it. And Crosshairs files a conflicting report and has the squad thrown in prison. And then Crosshair himself is taken before the Moff. And then so what they discover is that his like I said before, these are augmented clones, so their inhibitor chips are like messed up. So what happens is they augment they basically amplify Crosshair's inhibitor chip, so he becomes like essentially an Imperial sniper. So then the Bad Batch is broken out by a little clone named Omega, who apparently is a female clone for whatever reason, and becomes the because and like essentially takes Crosshair's spot on the team as like the protagonist, and then they follow, and then she breaks him out of prison. They escape after a firefight with Crosshair, and then they take off in the ship, and then that's the end of it. Again, this was a general summary, and then I'm going to go into more detail with it with Lad when we do our general episode. So now a couple of things I like. I like the military stuff that they really showed. They showed more of an in-depth look into the clone army, which I know is ironic considering there won't be a clone army for that long. But I felt that they have effectively pulled it off, I think. So also, I like seeing Echo, my man Echo, and I like how they explained him being a regular clone, but not having a problem with the chip because his inhibitor chip was probably destroyed when he was turned into a cyborg. So problem solved for that one. And I like how it showed that like these clones, how like if they didn't have the chips, the clones would not have done this. Like before the chips were retconned into Star Wars, like as far as anyone knew watching episode 2, the clones were just drilled and you follow orders no matter what. It wasn't like they had like a chip that basically mind controlled them. And you saw what happened in the end of Clone Wars with Captain Rex. As soon as you took the chip out, he didn't do it, which explains a lot. Again, it shows that without the chip, the clones would pretty much just not have killed their Jedi. I mean, some would have, because again, some are bred, some are like these are unique to clones. Some are like more hard, fast military order. This is what we must do. I'm looking at you, Dogma. But a lot of other clones, like Clone Force 99, or the Bad Batch, are like, no, we have to actually like think things through, because sometimes these orders don't make sense, which I think is really cool how they pulled that off. And so let's see, what else do I want to say about this before I log off? I like seeing all of the typical Clone Wars characters. I like how, by the way, so the episode ends, they're like, so what now? So like we have to figure out some way to like to lay low and not get killed, even though Crosshair is hunting us now. So the Bad Batch go, don't worry, we know a guy. We pretty much know it's most likely Captain Rex. So we're going to see Rex again, which I'm so happy about. I'm interested to see, and I was talking a lot about this, I'm interested to see how many different of the clone commanders and clone returning clone characters we're going to see in the show, because I really want to see like what was Cody doing, what happened to Cody, what happened to, we already know what happened to Rex, Gregor and Wolf, because a lot of have a theory that Wolf executed Order 66, like he killed a couple of Jedi, and that's why he has PTSD in Rebels, like he executed it and then they took out his chip. But let's see, I liked, by the way, one of the people that helped him escape was a Kaminoan, which is interesting, because if you've seen the episode where they first discovered the inhibitor chip, it's like the Kaminoans are trying to like cover it up, so everyone's like, wait a second, are they in on it? I thought that was pretty cool. It showed more of a more like, it wasn't like it also showed that like even the Prime Minister of Kamino was like, yeah, the Empire is no good. I felt that was pretty dope. I like how they included that detail. And let's see. I like the animation style was smooth. It was just like the last season of Clone Wars. Let's see. I would say, I think that's a good place to end it. So once again, we'll be doing the a full episode on it. I just wanted to get a quick video out so I can talk about it. So I can have some content on it. By the way, one more thing I will say, what I like. If you watch this after watching Clone Wars, the last season, because the first couple of episodes of the Bad Batch arc, it provides a really good cohesive story into these characters. And I like how if you go from, you could watch those like 3 or 4 episodes and then go straight into Bad Batch, and it's basically you can think of it as one cohesive story, which I think is really dope. I really like how they did that. So anyway, that's about it. And then once again, we'll be doing another episode on the Bad Batch at a later date when Lad sees it, so we can have a nice long form discussion about it. I just want to have a quick video out. Anyway, I hope you guys had a good have a good weekend, and I'll see you guys later.